Yeah, it's Christmas Eve here in Northern Cal. Hmm. A lot of disappointment will occur tomorrow. Once again, pegging all our hopes on something doing for us what we can't do for ourselves and getting disappointed where it inevitably fails. Yeah. And then the return. the the exodus of the return to the stores starting Friday or Thursday, whatever it is. uh, when I was younger, all I had every year I got the same thing. I got some socks and a flannel shirt. That was pretty much it. Thanks, Mom. Yeah. Where was the gratitude? No. All right. Well, listen, this is the non-duality thing, so none of that matters that we just said. And oh, anyone have any questions they'd like to ask or before we dive in? Oh, we're already dove in. No? Everyone's cool with it. You understand if you are reality, the best thing to look at is that which is seeking for reality. And realize you're not that. There you go. I'll see you next week. But basically, that's it. Literally, this is not searching for reality. See, you're not that which is searching for reality. Because if you are reality, that which is searching for reality is definitely here, not you. In this little imaginary time space, little what are those globes? You shake and stuff. If it ends here, all you need to look at is what you're not. Yeah. So whatever is looking or seeking or hoping or striving to arrive at a mythical idea called reality is not you, because being yourself's reality knows better. Yes, it knows better. It's not moving from the couch, so to speak. So, what is there to awaken? I don't know what that is, but I know what you awaken to, which is the unreality of the who. Yeah. So the unreality of this idea of Paul is sufficient enough to boomerang me into an intimate sense of the reality. I do not believe you can take a rocket to reality because you are there. So in a weird way, it's like a trick. You see what you're not, and then you get boomeranged into what you are. Yeah. And when you hit what you are, it tells you it's always been this way, and so it is. Yeah. Yeah. And then 403 starts, and then 404 shows up, and things happen. Yeah. Ton of things happen until they don't happen. Yeah. And when they don't happen, that which they happen to doesn't remember. It's not there to remember. Yeah. It's as if it never existed. Can you imagine? Most of the dreams you wake up to in the morning, you don't remember, do you? How many dreams of a life are going to be that memorable? Yeah, maybe there's a little digest that they put a few of them in there. But basically, all the submitting of your story as being a real incredible story is going to get, they're not going to accept it. It's going into the bin. Wait a minute. This guy Gandhi, that sounds pretty good. Or uh, no. So, uh, mm, We talked about it today, if you don't mind, at the recovery meeting. Many of us who are agitated, seemingly irritable and restless, are trying to get out, yeah, of something, and that looks like trying to get into something. So there's a drive to get out of how I feel or who I am, and therefore I try to get into something. Yes? So, or let's say the in and out. So I humbly feel uh, my drive to get out has convinced me that I'm not in. Yeah. All the attempts to get out of what I thought I was in, I have actually never succeeded. Yeah. I may have a temporary respite, but nothing's ever fundamentally changed. So the only way I can see it is after you blame yourself for years for failing, is that I can't get out of an imaginary place. Yeah. So unbeknownst being reality, I have given a meaning of reality to things that aren't real. And those things that aren't real, maybe my thoughts or my feelings like that, drove this imaginary person to try to get out of it. Yeah. I mean, in duality, there's basically in and out. Yes. And the missing quality is of. Yeah. Like we were talking of. As Jesus says, you're in this world. And a lot of us, when we hear that, what is it that we want to do? We want to sort of get out of this world. Yeah. The world may be in a living room in Novato right now. Yeah. Whatever it may be. Maybe it's a sinus infection you'd like to get out of. Something. Yep. So there's the idea of in, and then basically the only direction is out. Yeah. And so, and after you've gotten out of what you thought you were in, you see something doesn't change and all that changing. Yeah. Because that which thought it was out is the same thing that thinks it's in. Yeah. Wow. So you never get out of that. Yeah. You get out of what you think you're in, and you can get out into what you think you're out. But the one who's the in and the one who's the out is the same. Yeah. Yes. Have you ever noticed that? Have you noticed how many in and outs you have gone? How many rotations of in and out that you've gone, yet nothing actually changed in a sense? It was you that was in and it was you that you're out. Why wouldn't you want to look at that? That you, yeah, from your own well-earned time in this space, yeah, to notice that all the attempts to get out have failed miserably. That's their greatest success. I mean, haven't you learned already? Do you really think you need to go to, the school of hard knocks anymore? You have enough ample evidence with the understanding of non-duality to trigger what? Waking up from the who that you think you are. Yeah. It's like just realizing that the real that you thought was real is unreal. That's all. It's not hard. Like we went through for the last few weeks. Don't take my word for it. This is the godfather of, I can't see with those glasses. The godfather of non-duality puts it very clearly. He says how to realize it. So it is false to speak of realization. What is there to realize? And then he says there's something to realize, but it's not what you thought. So he says the real is as it is always. How to realize it? How to realize the real is as it is always. How to realize it? That's the question. Yeah. All that is required, wow, is this. We have realized the unreal. If there was ever any direction given at these talks, or any intention underlying all the talks, it would be this, literally. This is it. This is like all the way we serve the cod. This is the fish of the cod. Yeah. What is there to realize? The real, so he basically cuts that out off by saying the real is as it is always. So in another aspect of writings from Ramana, he said that that which is realized is always realized. So there isn't a moment of realization. It's always realized. In other words, it's not a condition that becomes a condition. It's inherently there at all times. Yeah. Just like the of is. Yeah. The real is as it is always. How to realize it? All that is required is this. We have realized the unreal. So we were in a state of regarding, or actually addicted to a state that regarded the unreal as real. Yes? So that which has been regarding the unreal as real is not going to get it. You do not wait for the action figure to get what it was seeing as real is unreal. You got to go before that. It doesn't work because maybe in the right setting with the right music and the right whatever conditions, you may be able to entertain that as the action figure. It can't stabilize because there's prior programming in the action figure. And its programming is the eyes that it sees the world as things. Yeah. And in reality, there are no things, in a sense. Yes? Things are appearances. So this is a thing I thought of. This is one of you find out so much stuff when you stop looking, really. You find out tons of shit. Yeah. And then it downloads in you, and then you get to see it without you trying to see it. It just shows itself, and you have a quality of awareness so you can be aware of it. Yeah. I believed what was blocking me from reality was me. Yeah. Because it was seeing reality in a weird way as unreal and seeing unreal as reality. Yeah. And I believed that had to change. So that which was seeing reality as unreal, I thought had to be transformed into seeing reality as real and the unreal as unreal. I was mistaken in my own, this whole download. I was sorely mistaken. There's no need to convince that which sees reality as unreal as to see it real. I would bypass that immediately. Yes? Bypass it. Just like the topic of this thing. What is there to awaken, which is what we are? And what does it awake to? What you're not. Yeah? It finally dawns on it. I'm not that. It's not like it has to be filleted or killed or destroyed or vanquished only to return again like the living dead. No, it never existed. It was an appearance, sort of on this, it was an appearance appearing on the screen of reality that the head's interest and attention went right to the appearance and forgot the screen. Yeah. So it got captivated by the movie, and it took the movie to be real, and unknowingly denied the reality of the screen. Yes. So no matter how many movies appear, it would be like, "Where's Waldo?" You would be in every one of them, even if it had nothing to do with you. You would be there. Yeah. But to sort of take the place of the constancy of the screen, you now become the screen that life is appearing on. You're not. You're that which appears on the screen. Yeah? So by seeing it as a character that appears on the screen, you realize it cannot see the screen. Yeah? Its view only goes points from the screen, not towards the screen. It sees what's happening now, and it sees itself as the screen. So everything is happening to me. It's called self-centeredness in a way. Yeah. So this is program. It's not you. It never was you. You did not choose it. You did not break off from the Godhead and become this little character. You did not give your wings away to go sleep with Meg Ryan like Nicolas Cage. You didn't, I'm gonna cash in my eternal chips of bliss to have one frolicking night with Meg Ryan. I think it's a good deal. It's insane. What celestial being would give up its eternal fucking condition for this? Give me a fucking break. This is only from the view of us. And we were not made in the image of God. We've made a God in our image. Yes. That's what we do. But this is playing God constantly. So what is there to realize? Good question. And how to realize it? All that is required is this. We have realized the unreal. Yes. I think non-duality can help stabilize that. If it's a wobbly understanding, the the understanding of non-duality will stabilize it. Yeah. You can use the crutches until you can walk. Yes. The crutches are not what's walking, but you use the crutches until you can walk. Yes. Come to satsang, sit here. You may enjoy it. Yeah. We have some extra benefits at Zen Bit Slap, some humor, hopefully, stuff like this. Yeah, you may enjoy the whole event. Yeah. Yeah. And therefore, something without even you knowing it is solidifying that was already solid. And it's best that you're the last one to know. It is. Yeah, in recovery, it's terrible that you're the last one to know. But in non-duality, it's great that you're the last one to know. You want to really keep your head in the unknowing, yes? Keep it busy so this thing can mature, so to speak. Yes? So by the time it's recognized there's been an unhostile takeover, yeah, it will be locked in the laundry room of the SS Titanic or something. Yeah. It's worked. Seriously. I did a lot of stuff. I went to satsangs, not infinite amount of satsangs. I saw some people who moved me, the book Who Cares by Ramesh Balsekar, and then The Life of Ramana Maharshi. I went to where he lived, and that was about it. Yeah. And then I didn't do anything ever since then. You don't have to try to speed up, you know, the trees are going to let go of the leaves. Yeah. You don't have to try to speed it up. It's going to happen. Yeah. And then when you think it's never going to happen, a big wind comes and blows most of them off. Yes. Have some fucking faith. Yeah. In what you've heard. Does it feel right? Put some money on that bet. Yeah. See what happens. And if you really want to get a good look at the seeker, stop seeking a little bit. Yeah. Just stop staying busy trying to get somewhere or make something real that seems to be unreal. Just see if you can stop. And then what will come into focus is really the idea of being the seeker. Yes. And you'll see all the meaning that you think was good for seeking, and now you're listening to other talks that it's bad that you're seeking. That doesn't matter. The seeking is used when it's stopped to look at the seeker. Yeah. And then you will realize the seeker is the sought. You don't realize that through seeking. You realize it through the failure of seeking, that the seeker is the sought. And I humbly believe all of us have gone way over the quota of failure we need to recognize the seeker is the sought. Yeah, I do. I think it's way past. Way, way, way past. Yeah. So the seeker is the sought. Do you see that through seeking? Or do you finally arrive there where you never left by the failure of seeking? I would say the latter. Yeah. So let your attempts to get out fail. Yeah. And maybe you've never been in. Because if it's in and out, out and in, that's duality, honey. That's it. And the message is of non duality. So we are of non duality, and we seem to be appearing in duality. Yeah. And recognizing we're not in duality is having a sense of what we are of. Yeah. So by the failure of in and out and in, which is the dualistic door, the in and out and in door, you recognize the one that's walked through all those doors, all those times. How many places have you been in and how many places have you been out of? What was the one constant in all the ins and all the outs? You. Yeah. The you is of in and out. The you is of duality. We are of non duality. That is the topic of this whole genre. It's non duality, not two. So when we describe the in and the out, it's to trigger the sense of the of. Yeah. As Jesus says, you're in this world, but you're not of this world. Yeah. So you seem to have been in this world of up and down, in and out, but you're not of it. Yes. And how does the in have value? It's not of. That's how it has. The in and out's greatest value, it is not of. The of has a completely different quality. Yeah. It takes no time to arrive there, and you don't have to travel through that much space. Yes. It's right where you are at all times with no requirement necessary, because where you think you are is somewhere in the in and out, yet you can never escape the ofness. That's the great news. All your incredible, potent way of being able to forget today by obsessing over tomorrow there is no erasing the of. It's untouched by all the masquerading and the disguising and the camouflaging. That only works in the in and out. It doesn't work in the of. Yes? And yes, Jesus is a pretty powerful, potent character. Yes? Hey, you're in this world. All right. Go over what you feel like being in the world is. Well, definitely being in the world obviously has a big out. It's called death. Yeah. So we're the whole basic structure is a huge in and out. Yeah. You don't even remember when you came in, and you're not going to remember when you go out. That's sort of strange. And how much do you remember? Really? Do you remember being born? Probably not. And no one, the only person who's going to experience my death is someone else. Because I'll be dead. So I'm the poster child of in and out. And then we hear the message, not two. What? Not two. You mean, am I not two when I'm out and I'm two when I'm in? No, not two. Not two in, not two out. I thought if I got into something, I would be out. No, you're not. It's like you're standing on the one side of the coin and the other side's gonna flip. Yes. Mm. So of is the key. What we are of awakens to what we're not. Yes. Yes. And it allows us to travel lighter through this escapade of in and out. Yeah. Leave less of a mark because there's going to be no marks left anyway. Yeah. And how do you have they found a scale how to weigh love or peace or serenity? Is there like do I have a bank account of serenity with numbers and that I can show someone else and see they have less numbers, therefore I have more serenity? Can you really weigh traveling lighter? Is there a scale? Is there a measuring stick? Yes. All of these tape measures we live in and out never capture the of. Never. You can't weigh it. You can't box it. You can't mail it. You can't fucking order it. Yeah. But I'll tell you, I don't have a necklace of traveling lighter. I don't have some photographs of traveling lighter. I can't exchange it at a marketplace. I can't trade it. I can't bet on it. Yeah. I can't convince you of its value. I can't show you. I can't. Yeah. Mm. This is not lessening the importance of in and out. It's just bringing in another possibility that there's an of. Yes. And so you'll see the familiarity and the same look with the in and the out. You'll see there's actually that much, not much difference in it. Yes. And you'll see that from the of. And I humbly believe hearing non duality can trigger that basic understanding that's going to open a chute where downloads are going to occur. And you're going to be directed without looking for direction. You will. I mean, who would have thought, like the Course in Miracles, this, a lot of spirituality has this way of saying things, but when they would say your greatest successes are your greatest failures and your greatest failures are your greatest successes, I really feel that now. Literally. I didn't feel like it when I read it. I said, nah, that's not true. But it is because the greatest value I have received is the failure of what I was relying on. Not that I was relying on it. I was like an uh, well, that's more contextual. Let's just say I wasn't that was relying on it. Yeah. Hmm. So fail away. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that's that. Anyone want to share anything? We have a nice crew for Christmas Eve. We'll also be here on Christmas night because being a mailman of this message every day is a day of delivery. Uh, After you open up all your presents, come here and get the present of nothing. Yes, yes. All those things that will be returned. You can't return nothing. It's a quality, it's a package of the of, yes? Yes. They're not returnable. No. Hmm. All right. Anyone? No? Great.
Paul, Annette has her hand up, or virtual
All
hand.
right, Annette, come on in. I think Annette's your
Hi. Can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Okay. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. And I'm not sure if it's Hanukkah, so excuse me. I'm not really sure. I'm not aware of that right now. But I'm not aware of a lot of things, so yeah. Uh, I just, it feels like there's things to share or to report. Um, but what is good, and I feel like I just heard you say, and I'm not gonna. It's like I hear the essence of things. I don't like the words escape me even when I hear them,
Okay.
you know.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah.
Yes. You've been plagued with this lovely condition for a while, Annette. You should just succumb to it.
It's just amazing. It's like I can't help but wanting to capture it. It's just what
I
happens, you
know,
know.
but you'll never, yeah. But just make fun of it then, because you're never going to catch it.
It's just, it's that overwhelming like wanting to. It's like, when the 12 steps were so new, and it's like I just want to, shout it from the rooftops, you know.
You get over it, don't worry.
Yeah.
You'll get over it.
On this topic of the in and the out, like
Yeah.
something that's dawned on me, and it's like and it's just again and again, like so obvious. It's like, what isn't an attempt to get out? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it, that's one thing that's sort of like an essence of that just sort of comes to me at times and just brings me some relief, like, there you go again. You like, where are you? Where are your feet? And you're like, like it's such a constant habit. It's just, and it's okay though, because it's this new habit, like you said, this new basis that seems to be coming about, in its
Yes.
own whatever, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
And
So that which was emphasized won't be emphasized. So,
mm,
yeah.
it's kind of cute, like when whatever it is talks to me, or, like plants an idea, and like, I'll bite sometimes, I'll get a feeling, it'll affect me emotionally somewhat. And then my head will go on about how it's going to be like this, like it just goes back to like the retro, how it's been in the past when this has come up, whatever it is, the du jour, the moment, um, and it's now it's more like I notice it like when it doesn't get hold, and it's like how they say like a fragrance that like people spoke I've heard them talk about this, like just that word in terms of, I think they're more talking about the absolute and that side, or whatever, if you want to say the sides or whatever. But it just, I don't know, I can't explain. It's more like it's just it just it's like a vapor, or something. It's just not, yeah.
Oh, I love how you keep on trying to describe it. Go ahead.
Well, it's fun listening to you in the umpteen ways. Like it's just like the infinite ways of how what we're not, and whatever, this message, how it seems so like just one thing you're talking about, and it's it's just so inspiring. And I feel like that's what you were talking about today with somebody. And like that's what I was hearing, like, yeah, like to when we come in and we borrow someone else's idea of a higher power, and that's what is attracted again. It's just like your what's going through you, or however you want to define it, but like that's sort of what I can relate it to, is like at a time when I couldn't even want to, my idea, I didn't trust anything I could think of, and how I had relied here and there, without
Yeah.
intentionally. I know I relied a hell of a lot more than I acknowledge, but anyway, so yeah, that's it.
I'm
Thank
happy
you.
to see you getting your relief is available. It's great. Yeah. Yes, it's great.
It's
We
amazing.
had a big meeting here at the house on Saturday, and one of the ladies, lovely lady, trauma is a word used a lot now, and the trauma and as the cause of it's the it's the reason for everything else, yes. But trauma has something before it, doesn't it? Yeah, the one who has the trauma, or the one that the trauma happened to, yes? That is where everything issues from. You and I give everything all the meaning it has. Yeah. And there's always a drive, like in recovery, that the holy grail is a pill that would cure you of alcoholism. That's like the holy grail. Everybody would love just to take a pill, but it's not the curing from alcoholism. It's the recovery of a lot of stuff, yes? And there isn't a pill there yet. I don't think a pill could do it. So this idea of trauma, it's the same thing with fear. People believe fear causes a lot of stuff, causes their ruin. But in recovery, they offered a different diagnosis, and they believed that fear was a cause of self-reliance. Yeah, quite a novel idea. So when they would say, they would ask you, just like something like, you're in this world, but you're not of it, they would say, why are you in so much fear today? Yeah. I'm sure a lot of therapy sessions start like that in a way. Why are you in so much fear today? Yeah. But they rush in and say, isn't it because self-reliance has failed you? So they're putting an option in that you don't readily hear. So wait a minute. I believe fear is a cause of a lot of my situation here, but it's actually an effect if you look at it. And it's an effect of reliance on something that's unreliable, will provoke like a chronic sense of anxiety or fear concerning the future, the situations now. Yes? So the big fear killers, and let's fucking squat fear and this and like that. It's not that. It's an effect of something else, which is the self-reliance. Yeah. Now, if you looked at levels of reliance on self, what would be the seemingly highest level of reliance is taking it to be you. Yeah. I mean, that you can't be more reliant on an idea that you're not to than to call it you. I mean, that's the ultimate of a drug and an addiction, is to have you believe you're the drug. Yes, that's insane. So here's this addiction to the head, and you're not addicted to the head. Yeah, you're an audience that finds itself in front of a play, and the play is I, me, my, let's say, and it's gotten absorbed in the play to the point where it's forgotten seemingly a lot. And this is sort of like an intermission. In the past they used to have intermissions where you could go out, get a breath, so you don't take the whole fucking show so seriously in a way, and you sit back. They cut out the intermission. Yeah. And the movie keeps getting longer and longer. and gets syndicated and then becomes like a show. And after a while, you basically seemingly don't know any better, do you? Yeah. Like from like I didn't know that the narration that I was going to listen to my whole life, there was only two options. There was policeman thief, really. There was the thief narrative, which was much more alluring, but consequences galore. And then there was the police narrative, which sucked because I felt like I had a big stick up my ass and I couldn't do anything. Yeah. And I figured it was going to be one or the other, but lo and behold, that wasn't true. I can listen to neither and still hear something. I cannot listen to the thief. I cannot listen to a policeman and still hear something. You know, they call it silence, yeah, and find direction not from one or the other, but from neither. Fantastic, yes? So a lot of the addiction to self, one of its greatest effects is limiting possibility, unbelievably. Yeah, limiting possibility. And it seems like the only reaction to something that I'm in that I'm not into is to get out. Yeah. But there's another option is to use the in to realize you're not in. Yeah. And get a sense of the of, which is not in or out. It's not one or the other. Yeah. It's neither. And it allows me to travel lighter through the other options. Yeah. But it's not on the shelf with the other options. It's a negation or a looking at the two options, yeah, not giving me a third one, but something completely different, yeah. It's not out of the same system. It's not another solution that, here's a problem from the system. Then I seek from the system a solution, and that becomes a bigger problem. On and on and on. Yeah. This is not of that. Yeah. It's of not to. It's not of to. It's not to. Yeah. Wow. Mm. There you go. I don't know where I was, but there it is. I get a bug up my butt about certain things for a little while. You may be hearing this thing from Ramana for a long while because I think it's so concise. What, I can't do better than that. Yeah. But this in and out and the in and then you know, uh, the of is all about solution to me in recovery. The solution uh, is of the of, so to speak. Yeah. In the beginning, the solution is mixed with a lot of problem. But as you stay in recovery, it gets more refined and it's all solution. Yeah. Where it hits you to the point that something happens to you with no thought or effort on your part. You're placed in a position of neutrality. The problem does not exist for you anymore. Fucking hallelujah. Yeah. Wow. So, all right, anyone else?
Heather has her hand up. Hi,
Heather,
Heather.
is it our magician friend?
Hi, Paul.
Yes. Hey, Heather.
I just comment. I just want to really, really thank you for showing up to your seat assignment because it's just really just kind of buoying me into the buoyance that you speak of. And the other thing I want to say is one way that you're such a testament to the power of this message is that you just never waver from the message. You know, you could have gone a million places a million times, but it's just the same message, and that's a testament to the truth of it. That it's just really a great model. That I love that it never wavers, and that alone is such a testament to the profound and lasting nature of it.
Yes, I was surprised by that.
Mm.
Was. I remember early on, something told me, if you don't see this, you're going to be looking from it. And I've never gotten a second download. It just emphatically told me that, and I've been left in that state forever since. I'm still waiting. Yeah. In time, this is a magic trick in time, honey, as a magician. Yeah. And a lot of magic tricks have time to do with it. Yeah. This is a magic trick in time. It has us believing that a manufactured point is the true natural starting point. So we never actually look back. We're always looking forward. Yes. So it's not like the impossibility of leaving what we are. We're hoping to arrive at what we are. Yes. And when I was starting this stuff, uh, it just hit me that the mental claiming of the experience of consciousness and contact, that's what our life is, yes? Whatever element of consciousness we are is what gives the event the ability to be noticed and experienced, yes? So the conscious contact is so quickly claimed by the head and put into the duality of do or done, see or seen, yes, hear or heard. So fast, I just didn't see any process here could get before that process. And the only solution to its effects are not after it. I noticed all the processes I applied to it after the first process did not bring about a great relief from the first process. In other words, the idea of the first process of me as the doer thinker traveled through all the other solutions to it. Yeah. And it hit a point where it just was obvious I, as this conglomerate of Paul, isn't going to get before the claiming. It isn't. Yeah. I am not going to see it. I am looking from it. That is the condition I play here. This is looking from what I need to see. And I can only see that from the of. I can't see it from the in and out. It just doesn't work. Now that downloaded, and I've never gotten I haven't even had any comments on it up there. It just was that it, and it's basically here we are. So if you listen to a talk from 16 years ago, it sounds like today. And as you said, because there's no point to move from this point. Because if you don't see it, you're going to be looking from what we're talking about. And that has not been disputed ever since I've been sharing. It hasn't been disputed. It just hasn't. So there are a lot of advanced people, but there's still people advancing. I'm all for advancement in people, but I'm not interested in advancing as a person. It seems to be, it's almost as if all the building, I never get any chance to live from it or in it. Yeah, there's going to be a passing away. It's sort of like being those bodybuilders, and then that thing here just still droops anyway. Yeah, it's just gravity always wins. So everything is, I just don't see, uh, yeah, I can warm myself if I'm cold. Yeah, I can get an insulated jacket. That's fine. I mean, it's great you have this power, but it's not an essential quality I need. I have a jacket I can put on. Yeah, so I I just feel I've lost a lot of interest in the hierarchy of transcendence. Yes. So yeah. Whatever. There's peace now in Novato. There is right now, right where you are. You can be in the habit of enjoying peace of mind, and you don't like that habit to be broken. So you may not do many loud and boisterous things anymore. You just may lean into that because you sort of like the peace. Yeah. And surround peace with peace instead of trying to think, make a surrounding of peace to have peace. No, you're having peace, and then you may like a surrounding of peace. Yeah. Yes. The surrounding of peace does not produce the peace. Yeah. So, yeah. Here we are. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Yes. I hope, again, we weren't allured by great uh, crowds, and I never, I should have said yes to Oprah when she called me, and all these things. I missed the boat, so to speak. So the sloppiness of Zen Bitch Slap is a very good protective film around everything. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You know the one, that old story about Ramana. It's a beautiful story. He came into a room where all these people that had been with him for quite a while were talking about were they qualified to teach. So then he came in, so they asked him, and he said, yes, all of you can teach, but I don't recommend it. So then they were interested in that answer, and they go, why? He said, compassion. And they were still confused, and they go, what do you mean? And he says, well, you'll be sitting in front of a group of people, and you'll dilute the message, by having compassion where they seem to be, you'll try to fit the message around where they seem to be. That's a misplaced compassion in a way. Yeah. So in this case, we just can put it out all the way. Yes, yes, yes. We are not trying to tailor this to fit you, tell you the truth, obviously. We want that you to be confronted. We want the light to be shined on it and to take a look, because non-duality has an ability to bring it out of the shadows. You can really see the emperor. Yeah. And then you're going to have a moment where you'll see the emperor has no clothes, and then you'll recognize the emperor has no clothes while it's wearing clothes. Yes. Yes. See, they talk about seeing the emperor with no clothes, but there's another point coming, which is you now see the emperor has no clothes when it's wearing a lot of clothes. This is the thing, sort of like the Zen thing. Starting with first there is the mountain, it creates a completely different effect than if it starts with first there is no mountain. Yeah? So first there is no mountain. When the mountain reappears, it's not going to have the effect it has when first there is a mountain, because you'll know its second appearance is just as bogus as its first appearance, because the reality is first there is no mountain. Yes. So in this case, the same. Yeah. The same thing with the lion and the water hole, where the lion and the old lion, the young lion sees its head and it realizes it's a lion. And then it stops there. That parable, yes? But what happens when the young lion leaves the water hole and it doesn't have the old lion? The sheep programming kicks right in and completely claims the event of seeing itself as a lion and turns it into a sheep's experience. The parable didn't go far enough. Yes? There's a second movement. After the big revelation, there's that which claims the revelation and neuters it. You need to notice that, or you're going to be thinking you've had a great revelation. You are. Yeah. And you'll find people will think that you've had a great revelation because they're thinking they've had a great revelation. And now you're going to be in the bogus church of revelation. Yeah. This is about seeing something. Yeah. So The lion needs to know that the sheep programming did not see that it's a lion. It sees that it's a lion as a sheep. That's the programming. There's not going to be any experience in that system that's going to change that programming, because the system fits around that programming. Yes? So by hearing this, you can see when you are looking from it, and the you will be seen as quite bogus. So if you don't see it, you're going to be looking from it. And then what will happen? What's looking is what you're looking for. You're using the Buddha to seek the Buddha. All these things come from not seeing it and looking from it. All those other things are ways of triggering back the seeing of it. Yes? So now you're looking from it, so you're using the Buddha to seek the Buddha, all the while being the Buddha. Yeah, yes. And that's all it does. It tries to trip the system so that the system glitches like the Matrix when the cat would go by the door. At that moment when the Matrix glitches, there's a lot of possibility. Yeah. So non-duality like trips the system to glitch. Yeah. So that instead of looking from it, you see it. Instead of looking from the system, you see that you're looking from the system. And then you realize it's not me that's looking from the system. Hallelujah. Yes? And you can repeat that cat going by the door. Satsang. You can keep manufacturing the glitch so that you will see what you're looking from. Yeah? Wow. And I'm telling you, when people say satsang is great, because the way you learned about a lot of shit that's unreal is through repetition. And so repeating something that's actually true isn't going to need the amount of repeating something to appear to be true does. Yeah? So don't let your head talk, oh, I'm enjoying satsang too much. There must be something wrong in that. Just fucking show up and let the glitch be glitched. Yeah? So, and then you'll be convinced that you are seeing what you used to look from. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And see, when you're looking from it, you're using the awareness that can see it to look for it. Yeah? Do you see that? Do you see if you miss the seeing it? The looking from it is described as you're using the Buddha to seek the Buddha, you're using light to seek light, you're using mind to seek mind. That all comes from the looking for it. Yeah? All of it. It's all in the time and space. So it's glitching. They're trying to produce the same glitch. So because when you glitch back to your inherent condition, it's before the looking from it. You're not of time. You get glitched into the of. Yeah? Yeah. How are you going to see the difference? If you're looking for self from self, you're never going to see self. When you look at self from something other than it, from non-self, you're going to see it. Yes? Just like gravity. You can have a huge fucking college book in gravity reading about gravity. But much better would go into an anti-gravity chamber and bring that book with you. And then you'll really get the sense of what the influence of gravity is like when you're freed from it. Yeah? The in is never going to lead to the of, other than the failure of it. Yes, yes. You can't use in and out to get to of, because you'll look at of as if you got in and you can get out. Yes? This is what happens when you believe you've achieved something. You always believe you can lose it. Yeah? If you are the one who climbed the spiritual mountain, you are also the one that can fall down the spiritual mountain. Yes? That's the realm of in and out. That's the realm of do or doing. That's the realm. You're not of that realm. Yeah? Yeah. So you're in the in and out, but you're not of the in and out. Yeah? Yeah. All right. I think that's it, pretty much.
Paul, Mary has her hand up.
Oh, it's not it yet. All right, Mary. Bring some champagne.
I want to go back 15 years to a satsang you did then, and it's probably irrelevant because what you're saying it now, but it seemed like you were talking about recognizing how we are creating a self. And I just, looking for any kind of pointers to see how I'm actually being in that self. See how I'm actually
Yes.
energetically, like looking back, like instead of looking out, like there's something kind of reflecting back to make a self,
But
to
you
make
didn't
that
do
feel
any,
a sense of self, not that it's real, but to sense it that way or something.
but you never made it just to target the thing you said that that we are creating. I don't believe that. I think the mental activity manufactures the idea of self. Yeah, through the selfing.
Yeah, but even though it's not real, you're somehow we're making that sense of feeling it. Like that's what we're
Yes, of course. Well, you can feel like something and not be that something you feel like.
right.
Yes. Feeling is not fact. It's translatable quite a lot, and it can be there can be a bogus translation of a lot of feeling. Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah. So Ramana said this very cool thing. He says there's a sense of individuality. Now, when we feel a sense of individuality, the head arrives at its already confirmed bias, which is it's an individual that puts out the sense of individuality. Yeah. But it's going just on the sense of individuality. That's the opus dei of it. That's its opus of the trick. It can only imply something. It can't make a self. Yeah. So
right.
it manufactures like a smoke of sense. So you sense and you feel because of the body, and then it implies that you're a thing. That's so the individual emotes the sense of individuality. That's not true. I don't see it that way. I see the sense of individuality is manufactured to imply that there's an individual. Yes.
But how
Considering
do we move back from that?
we don't, we
I know
see
you're
that we're
doing the
not.
in and out. You just told me. I know, but
No, but you don't move back. You are already back.
and yeah,
So if your awareness and that awareness doesn't have a back or a front or a closer or farther, then you're already there. Yeah. You don't have to move back. You see that the head can't move back. That's what you see for me. I saw the head could not get, it implies that it's on the one side of the camera, but it only appears on the other side. It's never before the camera. Yes. It's always in front of it. And so by seeing what I'm not, I've gotten an intimacy that I'm not that. That's all, I'll tell you the truth. That's all I go by. Yeah. And it's gotten stronger. Its strength isn't that it's reinforced, it stands alone. I just feel true. Yes. So I have been convinced. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't believe I make it. Of course it's going to feel real. I mean, if reality assumes what it's experiencing is true, it's going to feel fucking true, isn't it? Yes. How can false evidence appear real? It would have to be appearing real to what's real. Yeah. No matter. that which is looking through us is real. Yeah. It's real. And so I think all it needs usually is a slight nudge, and then a flood of possibilities can show up. And instead of possibilities for you, maybe the possibility you're not you. Yeah. And this is the last possibility I ran into, and it's become the last answer for me. Yeah. Concerning all of this topic of how to be travel lighter or feel this or that. I just feel what's needed is a loss of interest in that which you're not cannot do. Self cannot lose interest in self. That would be interest in self. Yes. So
I've gotten stuck there. Yeah.
yeah, so how I've lost interest in self is seeing self, I'm not self. So basically, if I'm not self, all that implies that I'm self, I start losing interest in. Yeah, because all the implying had a job to reinforce the idea of self. It's not doing that, so it's sort of archaic and it gets changed and used for a different thing. Like my whole underlying CNN news is turned into Comedy Central, literally. It's incredible. I had no idea that, Walter Cronkite, the same desk Walter Cronkite was at, is now the headquarters of SNL, Saturday Night Live. It's just fucking comedy. Because that which I'm not, uh, it learned the hard way, but it still has the urge to try to get out of itself as itself. It does, yes. I mean, it's just uh yeah. There was a big thing to realize that that wasn't me, and it doesn't mean my condition isn't based on its condition. And I feel a lot of people in spirituality base their spirit condition on these other conditions. And when they see the other conditions haven't changed, they don't think they've had a thorough enough fucking awakening. To me, that's insanity at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. I do not believe what I'm of has to be proven in the in and out. I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we had that early. That's why we had the title Zen Bitch Slap instead of the eternal1.com. We put Zen Bitch Slap in there just as a fucking a finger to to the spiritual out, whatever.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, honey. I'm
Really.
happy you're in the like 14-year layaway plan. You come back every 14 years. That's good.
15.
Oh, 15. Wow. All right. Great. Great. I'm very happy you're here, Mary. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. I remember, were you the one who dropped him off? No. Richard at my house. Someone else dropped him off. He was a teacher himself, this guy. I think he passed away in over in Oakland. Whatever. Richard Miller was a person that Mary knew that I had done a website interview with. He had one of the earlier ones, Never Not Here, which I thought was a cool play on words. So he came to visit me, and he got dropped off, and then Mary once drove him over and stuff. And it was the early days of it. Funny. All right. Okay, anyone else, or we'll just all say
You got
Merry.
time for one more? You got time for one more, Paul? Ernie has his hand up.
Yeah, sure. It's you guys. You just black out, but yeah, Ernie.
Hi,
Come.
Paul. Just a quick one, Paul. So everything about the message about non-duality is really pertaining to that you are not really the body because you can't get out. So it means like you're not the mind, you're not the thinking person, you're not the feelings, the emotions, because I mean,
But
So
there's thinking, feelings, and emotions. Yes.
yeah, so it's just like verbing, because every day your emotions fluctuates and you cannot anymore attribute it to you like, oh, it's happening to me, because that's kind of a self-centeredness. I mean, there is no more me anymore. It's like there's just verbing. But because
Well, there's
growing up in
never
the
a me. There's never a me. There's not no more me. There never was one.
yes, yes, because growing up in a Catholic family, it's always big. Even it's now, it's still playing in my mind. Although, like the second coming of Christ, the resurrection. There's always the belief that the body will rise out of the cemetery, I guess, or something, and so there's always this body belief. So it's but the struggle is, even in the case of like just try, it's kind of like you're doing the in and out. It's sometimes they say it's all right, the struggle is worth it. So that kind of thing is like, but it doesn't work. So yeah. So basically what I'm trying to say is that there was really you're not really a body, or yeah.
But just don't try to use this in the world of bodies that you're not a.
Body means involving everything, like whatever you like, the thinking person, the person, the emotions, the feelings. You're not that.
You're not that. Yes, but again, it would be more interesting to see that which is saying you're not that is that.
Yes, like again, yeah, because the idea of you are not that is also another thing. So
Well, that
yeah.
which is saying it is wanting to get relief from being a body by saying it's not a body. Just catch that, yes, because the idea of non-duality has been claimed by the head also, and it's now trying to figure out what it means from its point of view, and you can tell when it's speaking from its point of view. It's trying to convince itself as a body that it's not a body. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, just this is uh you're strapped to the operating table. You're like Ramana said, you're already in the head of the tiger. You're in the tiger's mouth. Don't worry about it. It's yeah, this stuff is all gonna just follow these inclinations, and this stuff's all gonna be worked out. This is just miscellaneous stuff that falls off like a skin being molted. Yeah, yeah. But don't take your eye off the ball, Ernie. There's something in you that knows something. Just let that direct you. Yeah, and yeah, I know it would be nice to understand while you're going along, but it's not necessary. You're getting pulled through something, and we're trying to understand like the intestinal tract of the tiger, but it doesn't matter. We're already being digested. Yeah, yeah. Just get swallowed. It's fine. It is. Yeah. The head wanted to know what this was all about, Alfie type thing. It can't. Yeah, but it won't get that. So you have it's a tender mercy, really. It's confused, and it's run into a knot it can't unknot because it's the knot itself. It's trying to figure out how to unknot the knot of itself. Can't do it. And so it tries to come up with these things, and that's all going to fall like a leaf in the the early winter. It's going to fall. Just whatever motivated you to come here or wherever the other here's you've been to, just just have faith in that little light. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Something knows the way already. Don't worry. Yes. Yeah. Something already knows the way. Just you're not leading, just follow. Just let it pull you. Yeah, yeah. I had no idea. I was bummed out at times. I didn't know why, but it opened me up to listening to something, and I got somebody mentioned a curious thing called non-duality, and I went to Berkeley and I sat in a park and couldn't even hear the lady. She was very soft spoken, but what I felt there had me coming back. And that was it. That was the start, and it didn't end. It just brought, just went that way. It was a very humble beginnings. It was, no, I couldn't understand. I couldn't even hear her, literally. And then, so the next time they had it inside, I tried to sit closer, and I couldn't understand it the second time. But something was getting in, and I just fell over and then read Who Cares by Ramesh, and just got my mind blown over and over again. And the mind need to be blown. It did. Yeah. It needed some fucking like heavy dynamite to break that fucking cement. Yeah. Yeah. But it wasn't going to be like that forever. It was just the first crust needed to be broken. And then I started to see, wow, there's a logic in these weird statements. The seeker is the sought, and what's looking is what you're looking for. There's something there that's being implied that's got a lot of juice. Yes. And then I started to drink that juice. Yeah. Not hear the description of it, drink it. And it really put into stark contrast the faultiness of the mental logic that had been a major part of the GPS I was listening to, literally. Yeah, really. How it would never admit its inadequacies, and would fill with rationalizations, excuses, and blames of others, or blaming me, which was an other, because it was playing the subject role and I was the object, and I got a lot of blame from the subject. Yeah. That I fucked up and all this, really poured it on. Incredible. And it made it obvious this could not possibly be me as this, because it's really fucking dumping on this. Yeah, it was fucking very intense. And just like Ernie, I was just interested, and that interest was enough to lead me correctly down the road. Yeah. Just like how I got introduced to recovery. Same way. I really gave up the idea or the need to know for quite a while concerning a lot of things I've been introduced to. I was more interested in hearing something than knowing it, yes? And that served me well, I think. So the idea of knowledge has a lot to do with the head, and it's revered, but sometimes it's not leading us well. So the I don't know of Zen I really think is quite a profound basis, don't know. Yeah. So, yep. All right. Well, anyone else? And thanks, Ernie, for showing up and sharing with us. I appreciate you. Yep. Anyone else?
There are no other hands up, Paul. It looks like Michael has left me as your host for
Oh,
this,
okay. Yes. People
for the
have.
goodbye.
Yes. Yeah, they have. I have no presents to wrap.
Oh, good. You don't have any to return either.
No, no, no. No.
That's great.
I have a lot of presents to eat, though. Mia sent me a lot of edible food, so I still haven't eaten all the cookies. So one's waiting for me right now. All right.
Again, Mia.
Yes.
Mia hooked you up.
All right, Kathleen. See you, and I'll
Thank
see you, Annette. Yes. Keep on, striving to describe it, honey. It's great. Yeah.
I have something. Can I say, I'm just gonna, and it's the self that's doing it, but I'm just gonna spit it really quick, okay?
Yep.
It's that, because I'm not someone who's been like a reality seeker. When I hear that constantly, I sort of like have always put myself out of it. But the way it's now, it's that every out is an attempt to create another fucking reality. Like that's just all
Yes.
that this does. is constantly trying to create another fucking reality. That's whatever. It's just blowing my mind. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's really disappointed in its own reality. So it's always going in and out, in and out, in and out, because it refuses to admit its failure. It says this time, this in is going to do it. It's going to be the end of all need for any more outs. This one. It can't help itself. That's the point. It can't help itself. Stop aligning yourself to it with its failures. Yeah. You have one of the greatest qualities it doesn't have, which is awareness. It's not aware of anything. It's just brought to awareness of shit. Yeah. It's not communicating to you. It's narrating a life to you. Yeah. So, all right. See, let's say Annette, thank you. Thank you. Maro, thank you, honey. iPhone Jim P. Nice to see you, Jim. Yes. Vlad, as always, my main man in Portugal. Mary Champagne. I drink to you, honey, but I'm sober, so I'll have to just say the name. Stephen Mack on Having Never Left. Chris from Olympia, Washington. Miak, she's next to the tree. David Bitterman. David Bitterman I found under the tree of Zen Bitch Slap. That was a very nice gift to get David Bitterman a few years ago. Very nice. I can't get to the other page, so forgive me if I don't see you. Great, beautiful day. Maggie, everyone. You are the greatest present that you've been looking for. Let's put it that way. All right. Thank you, Vlad, everyone. See you.
Thank you, Paul.
Paul.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the gift.
Thanks, Gatsby.
Thank you.